Nothing changes if nothing changes. I think we've all been there in life where we get out of bed and we end up doing the same thing over and over again. Whether that's grabbing our phone early in the morning and scrolling, playing video games, giving into the same vices over and over again. Days and weeks, even months go by where you end up just the same. When things need to change, something builds up inside of you. You live every day like as if it's the same, but you have that dream or that pain come into your life and it starts to build up. Recently, I was looking back at some progress photos. I'm coming up on 4 years of strength training. I think I made some pretty good progress. So, looking at those photos from years ago where I thought I made some good progress or I was on that journey to change myself, I was reminded of what forced me to change as an individual. Because I have become unrecognizable. And yes, I built the dream physique that yet my younger self wanted, but he would not be able to recognize me. And just earlier, before I actually decided to go on strength training and get on self-improvement, I wanted to end my life. I felt like every day for the past 3 years up to that point has been the same. I would get out of bed and the first thing I would do was grab my phone and watch some YouTube. Until I got hungry, I'd eat some food, go back into my room and play video games all day long. I was addicted to pornography, to scrolling on my phone. I'd spend my entire day the same. And I did that for 3 years. It built up this level of insanity, chasing a pleasure, chasing a lifestyle that I could not sustain. That it got to a point that it beat and bruised me down where I was so down bad, I thought, I don't know what else to do. I'm going to give up. And in a glimpse, in a moment of realization, I thought, what if I just changed? What if I tried? So then I decided to cut out all the BS, the bad habits. And I started doing these steps to go onto a new journey. Because we've all been there. Like I said in the beginning of this video, we've all been there where we end up spending the same day, the same week, the same, and we think, dude, why have I not changed? It is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, but ending up with the same thing. So to get onto this journey, you have to build a foundation because you don't want to be stuck. You're nullifying yourself. You're castrating yourself if you're going to say to yourself, no, I don't want to change. And there's people that build excuses and there's people that make actions. So to actually make the action and to say, years from now, I want to look back and be unrecognizable, to grow, to get out of that discomfort of your life and make something truly happen for yourself. So what I have for you is you have to start with your foundation. Like when I started on this journey, when I was so low in my self-esteem, mental health, and in every avenue of my life, I was failing. I said, what defines me as a human right now? I took out a piece of paper and I have a giant stack on my desk over there of all my old self-improvement pieces of paper I filled out doing this stuff. And it was by building this foundation of who I am and why I hate myself. Like, who am I? Being completely transparent. Not BSing myself, not lying, but saying, what do I actually do? In that life, my daily routine was just consume dopamine over and over again and do bad habits that was destroying me. And I hated that. So when you find out who you are on this base level and you can write down what you've been doing and what you hate, because hate is a strong thing and you have to be strong to change. And then you start to write down and see the solution. With my life, I was spending every day just chasing the dopamine, chasing the pleasure. So what are some solutions to that? I found out, I should be more grateful. So I started gratitude journaling. I started filling notebooks full of journals. I started meditating and working out to try to find peace and do the opposite of the way I was living, because obviously the way that I was living was not fulfilling myself. At the end of the day, I wanted to off myself. So I started doing the opposite. And it starts by building this foundation and setting a goal. So you realized who you are, what you dislike about your life right now, and you set the goal of, what do I want to achieve? It doesn't have to be some magical far out thing. Like, yeah, I have some pretty big goals. I see myself in 2.5 years in Florida, living my ideal life with my dream physique, with my dream finances. So I have to go build towards that. But when I first started, it was as simple as, let's just fix my mental health. Let's just save myself. So I set that goal and I started to build a dream version of myself. A version that I would be happy if I was him. And this is where you get the same sheet of paper that you filled out who you are right now and what you hate about what you've been doing and kind of who you are. And this new version of you, you write down similar things, but instead it could be, I want the peace of mind. I want to be a guy that can sit in a room and not be neurotic. You get so specific with who you want to be, down to the micro expressions and mannerisms, to the cologne that you will be wearing in the future, the type of clothes, the posture. And it doesn't have to be that deep, but it starts by building the foundation of, I need to change, and who can I transform in to be a better version of myself? So you set that goal, and then this is going into the actionable steps. For my own self right now, it's, all right, how can I get to Florida? All right, I need the finances to move down there. I already went down there, figured out where I want to live. I want the dream physique 2.5 years from now, so I'm taking the steps to get that. And I'm leveling up my finances. Those are my 3 main goals, and I have to make sure I work towards them every day so it's not just a placebo. Because when we're living day to day and we're getting insane because life has not changed, we start to daydream, and we do have an idea of when we would be happy, but we end up not doing anything. We end up not taking any steps towards it, and we get so caught up in our head, but we continue to live the same life that we've been living, and we beat ourselves up because we have this grand dream. So you have to take action and the steps towards it. And it's not something so dramatic like flying across the country or some big grand gesture. It's understanding the goals that you just wrote and how to get to them. If you were to get into the gym, you don't have to worry about the PR. How much can you bench press right now? Or what's the perfect split for you? You want to know the first actionable step? Is to go on your computer right now and look up your local gyms. Hell, it could even be before that, and you just start doing push-ups every day. And then you find out the gym, you get the gym membership, next day you come with your gym bag, and you just try to learn. And then all the bigger things will eventually get there. The premise is to take those steps every day of growth. If you're antisocial like I was, and I wanted to improve my charismatic attributes, it could just be as simple as walking outside first, going to the store and saying hello to one new person. And then it's actually having a conversation, going out of your way to talk to that pretty girl, building a brotherhood. You build off of it, and then you look back, because life is built off of this idea of discomfort. And we have to do something that, of course, grows us, which is going to be uncomfortable, but it's not a giant fucking step. It's just the little nudge. You stop and you put the bad habits down and you take the little inches forward. So when we have our goal, our dream version that we want to become, and we set the foundation of who we are, we start taking those daily steps to become that person. If it's the gym, you get into the gym and you take the actual steps towards it every single day, because the plan is to transform into this dream version where eventually you look back and you say, I'm no longer that person, I'm the improved version. So that's why I say get super specific, because you can completely cheat code life and transform into a new person by taking these steps. And then you have the affirmations. You might say, Max, it's awesome that I've set a goal, but I keep failing. You have to say to yourself every time you fail, because when you decide to, let's say, quit vaping or quit weed or alcohol, you're going to eventually go back to it. And that's where it comes to all these steps work together as foundation, because you say, my old self drinks. My new self doesn't. But when you have that sip of alcohol, you don't beat yourself up over it, because it can be a really painful thing to relapse. And of course, we all make mistakes. But the important part is to say, I no longer do this anymore. I failed, and I will try again. And when you do the good steps, no matter how big or small they are, you have to praise yourself with gratitude. Because I went through my stack of papers, reading my old gratitude journals, and it wasn't me being so grateful for anything big or major, because that came by the years of momentum in the game of self-improvement. The first ones were, I was so happy I said hello to a new guy in class. That is so minuscule, but that is progress to become that new version. Because I tell you right now, I've been slacking. I've had surgery. I am sick right now, and I feel like it's so hard to do the work, but that gives me no reason to regress into an inappropriate version of myself. So you set that dream and you chase it by having a good goal and understanding what steps it's going to take to actually get you there. So you do that daily, because remember, you're becoming a new version of yourself. And when you build that momentum, you start to realize, oh, that's me now. I've completely changed. It's no longer just pretending. It's became a reality. And then you tell yourself by affirmation saying, yeah, I don't do it. Like this morning, when I was thinking about this video, I literally said, when I was about to pick up my phone in the morning and scroll, I said, nothing changes if nothing changes. So I put my phone down and I jumped out of bed. And I am so grateful I did that, because that's progress. And then the next step for that is to get my phone hours down from like 7 to 6 to 5, then 4, then 3. Progress. It's going to take a while, but the most important part of it is I'm making progress towards it. And I'm affirming myself in the actions I do. And I just want to remind you all that when you're living life and you're complacent and you're so annoyed that nothing ever happens, that you don't have a girlfriend, that you don't have the physique, as hard as it is to say, because we all understand the real truth is the hardest to digest, is you have to grab life by the balls and make something happen. Go talk to that girl and see what happens. Go into the gym and get rid of your worries and see where it takes you. And continue to progress, because you'll be level 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. When you're level 56, you look back and you think, God damn it, I don't even know how I got here. My younger self would be so amazed and shocked at the things that I am doing, because it wasn't never initially in your mind. Yes, you had a great goal, but you never worried about the end. It was all about the journey of actually getting there. And then when you finally progress, like I have after my self-improvement journey of like 3.5 years, it's been so odd, because I have to remind myself that I need to still progress, because there's more in life for me to do. So I need to continue to level up and not be complacent. And this is the real actionable steps that you have, is transforming your life through the power of belief and action. Because every step that you take, every right decision that you decide to do that works towards your goal, affirms it into your mind, into your psyche, that you're changing as an individual. Because you could just be that kid that is so like, oh yeah, I have this fucking dream, but guess what? I'm going to do nothing about it. or you could go chase after it and make progress and actually achieve it. So if you're tired of living the same life, as simple and as rude as it is, go out there and make the progress, but set the goals down and build your new identity from this homework and decide to change. Because nothing ever happens unless if you make it happen. I'm Maxwell. I help teach young men find purpose and self-improvement. I appreciate it if you like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you on the next video.